Hello everybody to episode 1 of my game development log series. So in the last episode we had Jambon and a tennis background, and Jambon can move around all nilly-willy, all fine and dandy. But I've added some extra stuff, such as physics to start with, which is a big change since that allows, collision and stuff. I used Box2D for the physics engine. It was already a part of the engine, but now I've integrated it with the Lua engine. Now, with the programmed all with Lua, we've got this, which is a somewhat basic recreation of one of Jambon's games, which is Viking Dash. A game where you play as Vikings and you got the bop theater on the head, although in this version he's made some extra little cute characters that are a little different than the ones in this game, and I find them just excellent. I mean, look at them faces. Okay, so everything's physics with Box2D, and yeah, you can interact with everything. You can rotate around, you can jump. There's even a really loud sound effect. He only jumps when he hits the ground, and that's because I've also added and attached a trigger underneath his foot, so that he can also jump off of walls, off the other guy, but not in midair. So you can do some pretty cool stuff. And I guess the goal would be to stab the other guy. And I fell out. But don't worry, I still got this guy. Woohoo! Wah! Ya! Wah! Yippee! Yep. Oh, balancing act. Oh, balancing act. Balancing act. Whoa! Okay. Okay. This was done all in the new Lua engine for the game engine. I think I may have messed up completely on my way of implementing Lua, but you start in the scene, and like before, well, I've added some physics engine stuff, so you can set the gravity and stuff. Over here is sort of the initialization, where I set the gravity, I load all the textures and audio, then I load the objects, and they load object files. So here are the two players, and they load it from the same file, the same object file, and they name the object two different names, so player 1, player 2, but they have the same tag, which is another thing I've added. And then they have different positions, the same scale, rotation, and then some arguments that here I pass by the input of jump, turn left, turn right. So then player 2 has some different inputs for the same file that are passed in. But then in this file, the arguments are taken in consideration when loading the script. So I attach and create the audio files, and I even attach a visual body and foot, and the foot is the trigger, and I can even add a component to the foot to display it with a file. You can see now the trigger that detects any collision, so it doesn't actually collide with anything, but it detects if there is a collision. So the way that works is that the foot actually has a foot script on it. It has the variable on ground, which is a boolean, and if we're currently colliding with an object, it's set to true, and whenever we exit a collision, it's set to false, although it's possible it's set to false and then reset to true instantly after. So on collision enter only detects as soon as an object enters. On collision exit detects as an object exits, and on collision detects if any current collision is happening on a continuous update. So it's always being updated. We'll just put why I put on ground here, because if not, you could enter 2 of them and then exit 1 of them, and then you would count it. It would be counted as not on the ground, and then he couldn't jump even though he would be on the ground. So that was my simple way of going around that. And the Viking script is this over here, where we have the jump left and right keys that are set to default W, A, and D, but can be reset since they're global instead of local. And we basically detect if we're pressing the jump key and we're on the ground. We play the jump sound, and we add force depending on our angle. Times the jump force, which is a variable here, which is easy to change. I could even make it global, and then maybe 2 different players could jump at different heights. Anyway, simple to add. This is actually very useless. So I detect if we're turning right, add torque. Anyway, I mean, it's simple. That's it. I also create a few balls, which are just simple circles, and that's everything that makes this simple thing. So I added physics, I added audio, I've added a basic parenting system for both physics objects and non-physics objects, but really I gotta implement some stuff, which is actually for my next to-do list, since yeah, that was the sort of me doing all the stuff I wanted to do. Well, now I got new stuff to do, which here you can see all the stuff. Yes, I've added MIP mapping, so it looks a lot nicer. Before the mouth just kept disappearing out of reality because pixels and space. But now with MIP mapping technology, whatever, it's awesome and it works. MIP mapping is actually kind of cool. I like MIP mapping. Not the first time I've programmed it, but it's still really cool. Now I've got to add. I need to make it so that the camera can have a different resolution, but only see the same space. I think I want to do that so that if you're, if you have a 4K resolution, well, the player doesn't take the same amount of pixel space. It needs to be scaled up soon. I need to also add some more physics options. I've added friction variables, but density and other like angular dampening and linear dampening could be good to add as well, if to make a top-down game or whatever. I need to add some more audio settings, because now the only thing you can do is play it. You can't even stop it. So yeah, I need to add better parenting. I need to add joints so that you can create some more advanced physics objects. I need to create some different scene loading, and the possibility of having many scenes in one. That's been programmed in C++, but now I've got to add it to Lua. Yeah, I really honestly have no idea of how I programmed this is good or not. I would say that it's actually atrociously, horrifyingly bad, horrible, evil how I've programmed it. I mean, it's alright. There's some nuances that are kind of weird, like you have to update the script after you add it as a component to the object. How you gotta add these S underscore if it's a script, or A underscore if it's an audio. Even worse is B underscore if it's a boolean, but integers and floats you don't have to do that, because I can detect if it was a boolean or what type of user data it was. Anyway, it's stuff that needs fixing, or just a complete reprogram. I'll show you a bit here what I mean by bad. Every time I want to make a change, I gotta change it in these areas, just because, I don't know, I was having some weird problems. I don't even remember. I'll just open the files real quick. So each time I want to make a change, oh yeah, this is okay, wait. Every time I want to make a change, I need to make the change in the Lua engine and in the scene header, because the scene actually uses a slightly different stuffed in the Lua engine, and I need to do the same in the object manager and in the scripted component. Anyway, it's really just like some copied code that could have been like here, like I define the game object here, and the scene also defines the game object, and Lua engine also defines the game object. So not very good, but I might be able to put it all in one file. I don't know. Another thing I don't like that I do is I wanted simplicity, that you could just do input dot key A in the script. So something like here, like I do jump key here, but I do like input dot key W instead of putting the key code, so that makes it easier, because I've already the input class already knows, like you can do this already in C++, but I wanted it so you could do that in Lua, but I couldn't just add a number. It just doesn't. So I had to add a variable to that contained the name, and I couldn't just do redo like input key A. No, can't do that. That doesn't work. So I had to do key A, B, C, D, and then redefine them. Like, what's this? Int key A equals input key A. Why can't I just put input key A there? I don't know. I feel like I'm using up memory or whatever. Still new to all this, but either way, yeah. You see the issue I have, anyways. So that was episode 1 of my devlog, and yeah, I'm thinking of continuing doing some devlogs to show what I've added, what I've updated to the engine, but for more fun, I guess, videos, I'm gonna do a series like my misadventures in code, where I actually record myself programming and show off any bugs or nuances or just irritations I have. It's like a let's play, but it's a let's code. There you go. In fact, I have taken pictures of some of the things I've updated. So like, for instance, you can see here one of the problems I was having where that happened, and I found it kind of funny, so I took a picture of it. Did not expect it, and that's really funny. So yeah, I think doing misadventures could be cool. Anyway, that was episode 1. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video.